Two dads, one dut. It's podcast, Girthy Football Edition,
Bingo.
episode
84.
84.
Detroit Rock City.
Detroit Rock City, you know it.
Yeah.
Little recap of week 13
Going into 14.
going into 14.
No,
And-
week 14 going into 15.
And it was our unofficial bye week for us.
Oh, that's why it was, because it was the bye week for the football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a bye. We had to take some time off.
We did.
Everybody,
For the family.
everybody needs a rest.
Refresh the juices, the
Yep.
batteries,
Yep.
charges, everything.
Put us back in now. We're ready, Coach.
And what a week.
Yeah, so episode 84, Detroit Rock City, is brought to you by First Shield Defense. Self-defense is a fundamental human right. A lot of people don't understand that. First Shield Defense does. They provide a way for everyone to learn something new in their weekly classes, and they place a high value on your time. They offer two types of classes, Apex, Concealed Carry, and Krav Maga. In their Apex program, you will pull the trigger at least 500 times in 1 hour and at the same time learn how to fight with your gun. The Krav Maga classes will teach you how to protect yourself without a gun. Send First Shield Defense a message on Facebook or Instagram to get started.
He needed protection.
FirstShieldDefense.com.
As always, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Google, Amazon. Viewing pleasures. We are on the YouTube. Subscribe, smash. Go to our channel. Look at the episodes. We're doing numbers. Thanks to you.
Do what you want.
Do what you want. Skr. Drop at the beat.
I want to.
That guy got fucking rocked.
Yeah.
That's just good football.
Nah, it's defensive receiver.
I hate that shit. It's so stupid.
You know what he needed? He needed protection.
And nothing says protection like a Trojan condom.
That's true.
So, episode 84, Detroit Rock City. As stated in the title, I want to just dive right into
I won't stop you.
the Detroit Lions. And I put
The
here
Detroit Lions.
are ... The team playing the best football in the NFL right now, question mark.
Question mark.
So that's a question to you guys. That's the question I want to open it up with.
Are they playing the best football right now?
No.
I don't know, dude.
Only
What are you guys, like 6-0 in your past 6 games, dude?
4-1.
4-1?
In the last 5.
No, you were 1-6, and now you are 6-7.
Gotcha.
So you're 5-1.
We
Math.
should have
good.
beat. Well, we should have beat Buffalo on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I mean, don't get
Shoulda,
me wrong.
woulda, coulda.
We're playing really good football. I think we're playing top 5 football, but I still think, even though the defense is getting better, it's still a unit that's given up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said Philly is probably number 1, especially after the onslaught they put on very early with the New York Giants. So even though what it ended up being like 40-something to 20-something, where it doesn't feel
44-28, I think.
so out of hand, but it was over early.
Yeah.
Like, it was disgusting, and it was just one of those, like, their offense will fire on all cylinders, and I didn't honestly think they had it in them. But the one hot take I couldn't be more wrong on, and I will own, is A.J. Brown is him.
He sucks.
He
Dude, he's so boomer, bud.
but he is straight up boom because Jalen Hurts figured out how to be a quarterback and not just like this RPO, like dink and dunk pass. Like, he just airs it out to this dude, and how teams leave him that open, I don't know.
He's
It's
good, man. Just
mystical.
all around good.
He
Yes.
was all around good.
Yeah. But
Before this year, he was all around good.
But I said, if you think about it, though, like, Philly, I think, is the unanimous number 1. You can probably argue Kansas City is in the top 3 mix, but Detroit's right there. Like, as far as playing good football, who's playing the best football right now after this past Sunday?
I love this pod.
Yeah.
Hello.
So when you're 5-1
Uh-huh.
in your last 6,
Uh-huh.
and it's just the way Detroit's doing it is so interesting and appealing to me as a fan of football and watching the sport, because in the NFL, it's a league of you need elite talent and superstars somewhere. I think the Detroit Lions are one of the only football teams where you look at the entire board, offense and defense, and there's not one person that's like, yep, we talk about this guy every week. We talk about that guy every week. This guy's he's their bona fide star. Like,
Well, it's because he got hurt. And it's Amon St. Brown.
well, but I was going to say they have a lot of above average to fringe elite players, but nobody's the guy. Nobody's him. And that's kind of cool, all things considered, that they're one of the best football teams right now. Playing football right now.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Maybe that's their thing.
Well, and I put here, they won this week just like they drew it up. Straight up aerial attack after just doing a ground and pound for pretty much the entire season. Jared Goff went 27-39, 330 yards in the air, 3 tutties, and 0 picks.
Played against him in fantasy.
Yeah.
Rooted for him every play.
Guy was just
Got
running
Lions come first.
Got to.
Screw fantasy.
numbies. Jared Goff is ... a fringe elite quarterback this year.
No.
Yes.
Fringe elite?
Yeah.
No.
This year. We're not saying in totality, this year.
No.
The problem is not to look ahead, but the Jets have a defense that doesn't quit.
Yeah.
And they come at you. That's what Goff isn't great at. He's not elusive. He's very on script. We have an elite offensive line. He can pick you apart, but he's not a big off-schedule guy, so that makes me extremely nervous. But, the numbers would tell you he's really good.
I'm glad
What
you
are
said
his
that.
numbers?
So
What are his numbers?
His passing ranks. Glad you asked.
Yeah.
Way to play into it. Do you want to guess where he sits with his passing yards? Like if he's over under a certain number in the league?
I would say over 3,100 yards.
I think he has the sixth most yards in the NFL.
Close. He's 8th
Okay.
in the league. Right now, do you want to guess where he ranks among
How many yards?
3,352? To give context, Patrick Mahomes is first with 4,100, just over. Do you want to guess how many touchdown passes he has, and where he ranks in that aspect, in that category?
See, we squirrel out in the old ground game there.
Yeah.
I think he has 22, and he's probably top 15.
I'm going to say 19, and he's 16.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. He has 22 touchdown passes, and he is in a 4-way tie for 5th.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's tied with Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers, and Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, and I don't think he's thrown an interception in 5 games.
His ratio is actually pretty nice, too. It's 22-7.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell
So-
yeah.
3-1.
Do you want to guess where he ranks among the passer rating? So, again, the scale where it goes to like 158.3, which is a perfect game, so to speak.
I would probably say he's averaging around
129.
No, like where's he ranked?
Ranked, like
yeah.
1 to 32?
Yep.
7th.
I would say 9th, 101.3.
He is 7th.
Nice.
He is 97.9. To give it more context, Josh Allen this year is 95.5. Tom Brady is 88.9. So Jared Goff.
Oh, no. And again, this is from, obviously, a diehard Lions fan my entire life. It's hard for me because when we made the trade, I didn't like it because obviously I love Stafford.
Yeah.
I knew Goff was limited. I mean, it's not
Damaged goods.
well, that, and don't get me wrong, it's not like
He's not
Stafford.
terrible.
Stafford's not, Jalen
quarterback.
Hurts out here
been to a
running
Super Bowl.
RPOs.
That's what I meant.
But he was athletic enough to move the pocket, get out. Like, Goff doesn't have that in him.
Yeah.
But I wasn't factoring in that, we, over the last 2 years with the draft picks and the free agencies, our offensive line is awesome.
Yeah.
So you can sit back there.
Yeah.
But I don't want this to be like a false hope situation where it's like, oh, yeah, this is our guy long term.
Right.
We'll get to it.
Because then it's like, okay, he's having a repeat of 2018.
Well, I was going to say,
And then it's like, well, you're going to get fucking 2017, 2016,
Right.
2019.
But no, you can't take anything away from him this year.
yeah, it's good stuff. And then to go back to the ground and pound situation that's been their bread and butter for the most part, Jamal Williams has more touchdowns this season, currently sitting at 14, than his entire Packer career of 4 years,
Checks out.
which was 9. It just blows my mind. So Detroit has a real shot of making the playoffs this year, very much still alive. To break it down in the easiest way, they basically have to have a better record than 2 of these 3 teams going into the last 4 weeks. So when it's all said and done, as long as they tally more wins than 2 of these 3
The
teams.
Commanders.
The Washington Commanders, the New York Giants, and the Seattle Seahawks, which, again, not to do the old pat on the back, but I said if I had to pick a team, it's probably the Giants that are just going to tail off. I would argue Seattle's probably about to do the same thing, it looks like.
Yeah.
Washington might be the truest out of the 3. The next 4 weeks for each team, Detroit goes to the Jets, they go to Carolina, they play the Bears at home, and they go to the Packers. Out of those 4, what do you think their record's going to look like?
2-2.
Ooh, I mean, obviously we have to go 4-0 to make the playoffs. I think.
You don't have to.
I think we do. I think it's crazy to say, but I think at worst we go 3-1. What?
I have here they go 4-0 or 3-1.
Yeah.
The Jets, I think, are in that weird tailspin again where everybody thought they were catching some speed with Mike White, and now it's just like, what's going to fucking happen there because his whole body's broken?
I think it's this week. I think if we hold up outside against that Jets D and win, I think we run the table.
I think honestly, out of all 4 games, which is like bizarre to say, the weirdest one's probably Carolina because they're still alive in the playoff hunt because the NFC South is just absolute dog shit.
Correct.
So they have something to play for, even though it seems like a shit team. The Bears, could be a tough game, but I would imagine if it's at home, like Detroit's probably just going to fuck them up, respectfully.
I mean, probably high scoring game.
Right. Well,
For
and
sure,
week
yeah.
18, if it really is that point, like if we ran off the next 3,
Yeah.
week 18 for the Packers could be a Jordan Love game.
Yeah.
Like it could just be like, we're mathematically eliminated. Let's see what we got with this guy.
Yeah. Well, so here,
And I don't know if that's good or bad because he's going to come in and try to win the game.
That's how backup quarterbacks do.
but this will probably help with talking about you guys going 4-0 or 3-1 because the other 3 teams, I mean, you couldn't have a better situation, unfolding in front of you guys where Washington, they go to the Giants again, which they tied, which was crazy that actually helped you being a Lions fan.
No, it didn't.
Nobody won.
But nobody lost. I needed somebody to have a loss there.
I think
It honestly.
Because if the Giants had a loss.
I guess.
Yeah.
Either way. But then they go to the 49ers.
Yeah.
I imagine they're going to get shit pumped.
Uh-huh.
They play the Browns, which we'll get into that later, but I think that's a win.
Yeah.
And then the Cowboys, W. So I have them going 2-2 in that 4-game stretch.
Who? The Commanders?
Mm-hmm. I think they beat the Giants, they beat the Browns, and they lose to the Niners and the Cowboys.
I think they go 1-3. I think they lose to the Cowboys, Niners, and Browns. I think Deshaun Watson's figuring it out.
We'll get there. I got some meat on the bones for that. So then the Giants, they play the Commanders, obviously.
Yep.
They go to Minnesota. They play the Colts, and they go to Philadelphia. I have them going 1-3.
That might be a no for 4, dude.
Yeah. Like I said, they beat the Colts probably, and that's it.
Maybe.
And that game will probably end up being pretty dog shit. Talk about the toilet bowl game.
Where's that game at?
Indy.
That's a loss.
Yeah. That's what I was like.
Well, and the other 7-6 team is Seattle.
Yeah.
Their Final Four.
Yeah.
They are home to 49ers.
Loss.
At KC.
Loss.
Home to the Jets.
Who knows?
Home to the Rams.
I have them going 2-2. As I said, man, there couldn't be a clearer path to just all you guys have to do is keep playing the football you're playing, and
Sure.
I guarantee you go at least 3-1.
But, I mean, it's hard. Trust me.
And
I want to just full
Just
on.
0 for 4. Just
Right.
see the Lions become the Lions.
and so here's the thing. So
Just drink the Kool-Aid. I want to do it.
they're 6-7. I honestly just need them to go 3-1, which I think again is very doable. We'll discuss it publicly, bet it privately, obviously. I may have sprinkled some futures. I don't know, but if I had to guess, the future on them to win the NFC championship, plus 4,000.
Nice.
Love
To
it.
make the playoffs is plus 300. And then their over-under win total 8.5 is plus 150, I believe. So, value.
D-Rock City.
Catching it at the right time. So my future hot take for the Detroit Lions, they will be every big media outlet's dark horse Super Bowl pick next year.
I mean, I think some of it depends on the draft pick.
I think they're going to take, couldn't be more ironic that we, inadvertently took a bye week ourselves. I had that as like one of my talking points last week, and that's all everybody's talking about now ever since they beat Minnesota. And again, 10-2 on paper, but Minnesota's just this weird, like a diamond in a rough, they're just sneaky bad.
Yeah.
Their defense is atrocious, but yeah, that's all anybody's talking about now is how they're just like, dude, Detroit, it's the team. And I'm like, motherfucker, like I had the same take. Trash. But
Say it better.
you wish. So the last thing for the Detroit Lions, and to play into the draft picks and everything, do they actually have the perfect situation and organization to draft a quarterback if they end up getting a top 5 pick?
They're in a situation to.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Other than that fucking Will Levis dude that's from Kentucky or where the fuck ever and has played all of like 2 minutes of football and everybody's just sucking his dick because he's 6'5" and probably has big hands. Like, it's one of those things where if CJ Stroud falls to you or Bryce Young, somebody, how do you not take him and bring him into such a great environment where you don't have the pressure? You can sit behind golf. I would imagine the team and everything is built to be around the team they have now. There wouldn't be any weird animosity. It would be we'll play you when it makes sense. We'll play you when Goff has consistently bad games in a row. They're not just going to be like, I don't know, Goff, like one pick in the first half, 100 yards, like, CJ, get in there. Like, I think this team is built to be a team, which is actually really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I would think, too, that pick has to be in the top 3 because the Bears will be in the top 3. They're not going to take a quarterback. And unless somebody trades up for a Hall, I don't think Stroud or
Bryce
Young fall past 3. And
Right.
I don't want to use a 4th or 5th pick on the kid from Kentucky or a project.
Yeah, and that's
you
why
trade up with the Bears.
I just don't
I
think
would want to trade down.
Yeah, like you don't want to. You're in what everybody's going to talk about is like a great situation. Don't ruin it. Like you don't need to do anything crazy. Like just run the course. Keep it going. Kiss it.
Yeah, there's been 13 teams so far have given up more than 300 total points defensively.
Yeah.
The Lions have given up the most in the NFL. We are one of 3 teams that have given up more than 300 points, but still have a plus point differential.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only downside. Like the defense is playing better. Like obviously there's a bunch of young guys.
Yeah.
Like we have 2 rookies on the defensive line.
Yeah.
They're leading rookies in sacks, but they're 1 and 2.
That's pretty wild. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
The best thing, I told you about it a little bit earlier. Pardon my take. PFT, I think, said that their best losses or their best wins was the loss against the Eagles and the loss against the Bills. Those are their best wins.
Right.
Yeah, because they lost by 3. And it's like these are 2 of the teams that everybody basically wants to anoint into the Super Bowl along with Kansas City. And you almost beat them. Yeah.
They're who we thought they were.
Were they both at home?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 They
But
were.
again, it's one of those, man. It's wild. Detroit, buzzing.
But if you want to start beating those teams, you got to go on the road and do it.
Yeah. And that'll be interesting. But yeah, so the next topic.
Beat the Jets.
Yeah. Is
As you said, the top 5 defense, it's going to make them uncomfortable the most. And I'm scared about.
Again, it is.
yeah. I mean, I would
That's why I think if we beat the Jets, I mean, the Carolina's defense is sneaky good,
Yeah.
but it's not the Jets. So I do think if we come out of that game with a win,
Just
watch out.
ground and
Watch
pound
out.
it, man. Go back to Jamal. Just do what you know. It'll be easy. But okay, so for this, I said Cleveland will always find a way to Cleveland. So to catch up from last week, Deshaun Watson did in fact step on the field, which I was very surprised by.
Who's he?
Massage
The
him.
guy
you'll know.
said that was for sure going to play? Yeah.
It's weird, and I think again it's one of those. It just proves the point of like, as long as enough time passes with anything, people just forget and don't give a shit, or it's in the rear view. Like you
If you're good at something.
correct, but they'll try to like resurface stories, and it just doesn't hit.
If you're good at something,
Yeah.
never do it for free.
I said here, so last week when he first came back against Houston, they won just like they drew it up. The Browns won by a punt return for a touchdown, a fumble return for a touchdown, and an interception return for a touchdown.
Classic.
Deshaun Watson went 12 of 22, $131, and 1 pick.
Pew.
He followed that impressive performance up with
250 million, baby.
with going for 26 of 42, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and a loss to Cincinnati that's actually kind of interesting. First loss to the Bengals in the Burrow era. They've actually swept them up into that point. And so it's like,
Well, you knew you were due.
give me Jacoby back? Like, question mark? Like, we beat him earlier in the season. Like, Deshaun, I don't know. Like, you kind of,
Oh, there was a stat about how he was like a top 10 passer,
yeah.
and their defense has just dramatically underperformed. Like the Cleveland defense was like bottom 10,
Yeah.
and that's why their record wasn't good. They're like, Brissett actually played really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Above average, just game manager. Like, he was there. I just think it's weird. And I said Cleveland somehow find a way to drive their prolific offense on paper into the ground. Like Kareem Hunt, first game of the year, stud. Now all of a sudden you just don't hear about him. He doesn't catch anything, doesn't run anything. I'm like, what's happening? You have Amari Cooper, like who's proven like him and Jacoby had chemistry. He can still be the guy. You have Nick Chubb, who's just a fucking wrecking ball, and you suck. Like I don't get it. Like your offense.
It's just fucking new quarterback jitters, dude. You know what I mean? He didn't get any preseason games. He hasn't played this entire
In
season.
700 days. He didn't play last year.
But that was okay. So that was. I'm glad you said that because it sparked what I was thinking about. Is if they act like he's suspended. He can't do anything. It's like, motherfucker, you can still pick up a football.
Yeah, but he's not allowed to practice with his teammate. He's not allowed to be on the premises.
Oh, I get it. Don't massage the thing or anything, but throw it around.
I'm rooting for the guy.
Yeah, well, throw it around. It's like I don't get it. It's
he
like,
still is, but if you're not playing against live coverage and you're just throwing at stationary targets or high schoolers at the fucking park,
I just imagine
it's gonna be different.
I imagine when you're at that level, like
Is he allowed to throw?
If
at
I
the park?
imagine
people
not out
will,
of school,
people will flock to you. You know what I mean? Like to give you a practice, to give you that game like feel.
right? But his teammates aren't allowed to, and those are the people he's throwing to. So he'd probably bring a stranger that he's throwing to, put him on there. I bet it's great chemistry.
Love it.
But he's catching everything.
Timmy
but
from
he's
the
not
park?
doing it. Exactly.
Yeah, no. My way too early hot take. This trade will be neck and neck with the Russ to Denver trade. I think when it comes down to, so here's my reasoning, my leverage towards it is the draft capital that you gave up, everything that went into it with your money that's probably going to just be absolute fuckery on the books when you could have just kept Baker. I don't know what that is. And you had all these picks because you were Cleveland. You
Yeah.
still are Cleveland. And now you have a guy who for 2 weeks, and I get it, the rush, sure, shake it off, whatever. We thought we were getting Houston Deshaun, where it was like, you're a bona fide top 5, if not top 3 guy.
Yeah.
Same thing that Denver thought they were getting with Russ. Like, we're getting this guy that's wheeling and dealing, 316 in the pocket, scrambling, launching a dart down the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's,
With Russ, it's mental because he actually got to play and he's just trash.
yeah.
Deshaun is just getting the rust off.
He's too tight. He's wound up.
He's wound up. You gotta get him loose.
rub him out.
Rub him down, dude.
Yeah.
Get him loose.
I don't know, but that's my
Denver has won
what?
games.
Correct. Yeah.
Deshaun hasn't yet.
I know he's 0-2. No, he's 1-1. Which I mean technically should be he's 0-2 to me because the defense single-handedly beat the Houston Texans. They scored 21 points.
They also gave up how many points?
How many did they score?
No, they literally covered an 8.5 point spread without an offensive touchdown.
Yeah,
That's tough to do.
exactly. So again, you have me on tape. I just think it's one of those. If Cleveland could do it all over again, you keep Baker, like you said, you rest him so he gets fully healthy, and then you see what you have here with, again, the league's shifting to this like pass for maybe 200, 250 yards. Like you have 2 running backs that are just really fucking good. Like, what are we doing? It's like you're 2 steps behind the league.
I mean,
Or are they 3 steps ahead of the league?
No. Do you guys want to give guaranteed money to a potential R-word guy? Yeah.
Retard? You can't say that.
woo. Again, everybody thought I was crazy,
And this is
but like
crazy.
when we did our yearly previews, when we started off, I think I had Cleveland with 6 wins, and you guys thought I was fucking stupid.
Say what again?
I had Cleveland at like 6 wins.
Oh, yeah.
They have 5.
Correct. And
There's only 4 games left.
it was a lot of self-inflicted wounds for the losses.
I don't give a shit why they are.
Oh, I know. They are who they thought we were. Now they are them.
Almost time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, it's weird.
I also said the Rams would go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But I just think it's
It's a
Cleveland.
roller coaster.
Cleveland will find a way to be Cleveland, and it couldn't be more poetic because I jumped from one Ohio team to the other because Cincinnati just royally pissed me off in watching Andy Dalton go 10-6 or 11-5 with Marvin Lewis and his 500 fucking ass winning percentage to drafting Joe Shiesty and just becoming this franchise that's just ready to go. It's awesome. I love it.
Dude, why don't you stop rooting for Cleveland? Maybe they'll be good.
That's actually a good point. I'll just switch back.
Switch to the Colts.
Put a jinx on the Bengals. Okay. Next one is Baltimore on dumpster fire alert.
Yes.
They are currently the 3 seed in the AFC
It's so bad.
at 9-4 because they own the tiebreaker over Cincy, who is also 9-4.
It's not going to hold.
They couldn't smell more like a first round getting bounced team.
Oh, yeah.
They reek of it. They are going to fumble their way into the playoffs, and it's just going to be gross.
I mean, because at this point, though, since he's going to surpass them, they're going to win the division.
I would assume so.
Yeah. So they're going to be, I mean, if everything held,
They'd be a 5 or 6 seed.
yeah. So the matchup that they could have, I mean, again, I think it just depends on how serious the Lamar thing is.
Right.
Yeah.
If he comes back. Because
Correct.
right now, currently, your best player on offense is arguably your kicker.
Well, there's
Or
no,
tight end.
So there's no argument. Yeah,
You need somebody to throw to the tight end. And I don't think they have it because what's his fucking nuts that played? Do you want to guess how many yards he threw for in that awesome win against Pittsburgh?
71.
Close, 88.
Nice.
Wasn't
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that's the fact that I feel like that's something we could step in an NFL game and just blindly loft one up, and Mark Andrews will get us 88 yards.
Probably.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they can most likely they're going to probably be the 5 seed.
And so you're going to go up against
You're going to play the winner of
KC or Buffalo?
No, you're going to
No.
play the 4 seed, which will be the winner of the AFC South. So most likely the Jacksonville Jaguars. So yes, first round exit.
Has to be out of here. See ya. Adios. Vaya con Dios. No, so
Suck it, Tennessee.
put here Lamar getting injured couldn't be more on par with the mess of his contract year that it has been to this point. Is it one of those horrible scenarios where the organization is actually excited? Terrible and soulless, but are they still taking a big sigh of relief from a business standpoint?
100%.
Purely business.
But are they though? Because I mean, it's not like they're not gonna franchise him. If they're not gonna offer him the money that he wants, they're gonna tag him.
Yeah.
So now you have to pay him 1 year at just massive money, like top 3%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he performs, now you're screwed.
Well, so the reason I asked,
If he
and
doesn't, I mean, are you just gonna keep doing the Cousins thing where you're just like, hey, I'll just take 1 year deals,
Right.
pay me at the top 3 money,
60
guys.
million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, pray I don't get hurt. But I asked that because I think it's kind of funny when you pull the curtain back and you lose your guy, and it's like, man, thank God we don't got to pay him. And it's like, you understand now that he was a very big chunk of
yeah.
your
He
pot.
was
Like,
your offense.
he was your team.
He was your, yeah.
Like your team, your defense has always kind of just been sneaky good or like dark horse, like top 5, whatever. But it's like, if that's not there, you sure as shit ain't scoring points.
Yeah.
Like
But after
field
like
goals
4
only
we-
get you so far.
But after 4 weeks, you weren't scoring points with him. Like he was not playing well at all for Lamar standards.
Well, and that's where I'd have to argue against it because I literally pulled up the stats and he was on pace with his MVP season.
No, he was on pace with the people this year.
No, he was on pace with his MVP season because, again, his yardage, his passing yards weren't anything to write home about. They were high 3,000s, and his rushing is where he really shines.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, that's always been the thing.
correct. But I'm saying, like, Lamar's been Lamar. People just are expecting him to somehow be better, and it's like it works when he does what he does. Sometimes it doesn't always go his way, just like any other NFL football team. Like, you have to have a little bit of luck.
Yeah. But also be better.
Please and thank you. Yeah, but that's Baltimore. I think they are very close.
Baltimore less.
Exactly.
One of these teams doesn't make the playoffs. I was going to save it for later, but I'll just do it right now. One of them, Miami and Baltimore. One of them's not going to make the playoffs. They're going to just fucking shit the bed. Who's it going to be?
It'd have to be Baltimore. I mean, they're 9-4. What is Miami? 9-4 too? No, they're
They damn near have, I think, the same records.
no, they're 10-3. I thought.
No, they're 8-5.
Miami's 8-5. Baltimore
Oh shit, I was way off. That's my bad.
8-5 and
One game off.
9-4.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean Miami. You just have to assume they're the
Miami
better.
still has a quarterback, so you got to give him the chance, right?
Yeah, their offense when it clicks is arguably the best in the league.
Yeah.
This year, it's top tier.
It's just wild that you're 9-4, and then there's a legitimate chance you might not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those two. Even if you make it, it's like, is that just the classic? As an organization, you go, I don't know how we pieced this season together. We overachieved. Hats off. Like, we'll lay it out on the field. But I mean, if they lost, I don't think they're going to be surprised by it.
I mean, their game's coming home. They go to at Cleveland.
Is this Baltimore?
Yeah. They're home to the Falcons. Ritter.
Desmond.
Rivalry game. Home to the Steelers. And they close at the Bengals.
I think they lose. They go 1-3.
I mean, I think 10 wins will probably get you in.
You would think.
It should.
Move to the NFC South.
What's Miami's record?
8-5.
8-5.
I mean, remaining sketch. My bad. Remaining sketch.
So they are at Buffalo this week. Home to Green Bay. At New England. Home to the Jets.
No.
I mean, they're 4 games that aren't like, you're not looking at them like we should win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, record-wise, you're looking at Green Bay, but I still think people are like, it's still Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He's going to
Nope.
give you a game.
Nope.
This guy's not.
Yep.
You heard it here first.
And it's at Green Bay? Oh, they're terrible on the road, dude.
Yeah,
They're fucking dog shit on the road.
Here's the thing, though.
Doggy poo.
Doggy poo. I just think, again, like I said, put a stamp on it already too. Like Detroit, I think goes to Lambeau on the final week of the season, and they beat them.
Well, that's Detroit.
Yeah, two different animals.
Miami's not
sure.
Detroit.
Yeah,
Suckers.
but
Woo!
yeah,
I hope it just fucking. It's either like win or not get in the playoffs,
Don't
and
do
Aaron
that.
Rodgers is like, I'm playing. Fuck this.
fuck these guys. Yeah,
You should.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I own the North. I'm the king of the North.
Do you have some Raft questions?
I have a few.
Yeah.
Raft me, baby.
So I mean, this is one just because it's fresh off this, and I don't know if it's because of the media thing, but again, it really did feel like last night's game. You had a side, whether you were a bettor, whether you were just a fan, but it was like, I'm Team Herbert, I'm Team Tua,
Yeah.
and you don't want to say that one game kind of speaks volumes of it, but one guy balled out,
Right.
One guy absolutely balled out.
and
With all his weapons, which is what we were saying, let's see how he is when his weapons are back.
correct.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, again, you look at social media and you see these people, and I'm not a big commenter. I just kind of watch it.
Yeah.
And these people with Tour were like, none of his guys were open last night. Oh, so the most accurate passer in the NFL has to have guys wide open?
Interesting.
Interesting.
This narrative doesn't play well.
Weird.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, well, once Tyreek had to sit out a series or do this and that, so he doesn't have his best weapon and he's not great.
Yeah.
Mike Williams and Keenan Allen played 25 snaps together before last night's game.
Yeah. And here's the crazy
With one of the worst offensively. 2 weeks ago against the Raiders, he was missing his left tackle, guard, and center starters.
that could hinder a bit.
Yes.
Offense.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those two where you compare weapons. Where you get speed on both sides with Miami, you're giving up what feels like 3 feet in height. Like Mike
Yeah.
Williams and Keenan Allen are dudes that, like, when they're in the end zone, they're jumping, they're mossing people. Where Tyreek and Jalen are just purely banking on, like you always say, the slant and go.
Yep.
Like there's no.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say Tyreek's made some mossy catches, but it's not like his bread and butter, his wheelhouse. Like that's not what you'd throw to Tyreek for.
Yeah.
He's not a jump up and go get it guy. Like
No.
you don't want him to be. And
There was a throw on like 3rd and 6, and it was just a little out route to Keenan Allen. And
Oh,
he-
yeah.
And he throws it
With
into
that
his
motherfucker.
spot. And even Allen looks back at him and just points at him like,
you're the guy.
dude,
Yeah,
what did you just do?
that one was juicy.
Yeah.
'Cause there's just no room there.
You put a lot of Spanish on that one, brother.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
but
Dude, the announcers went fucking ape shit for that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Collinsworth loved it.
dude.
Guys, look, what a throw!
Now here's a guy who just ropes it and just
Yeah.
he knows how to get it to his teammates.
But I mean, I've massive Herbert stock. I have for a long time. So for
Yeah.
me, it wasn't a thing. And I'm not like anti Tua, but it's like the guy got put in a really good situation with this wide receivers, and he's making the best of it. So good for that.
Yeah.
But there's clear limitations there.
Yeah.
This guy hasn't had all of his pieces all year, and he's willed this team
Yeah.
to still have a chance.
Yes.
And heaven forbid they get healthy.
They are a playoff
Watch
team.
out.
Watch
Aren't
out.
they?
If New England wins technically tonight, they have the tiebreaker.
Okay, but yeah, you're saying they're in. But right now, as it stands, the Chargers are a playoff team.
Yes, as of right now.
Yeah.
Cole McCoy has something else to say.
Hello.
So what I was going to say that is crazy and just so interesting to me because, again, we live in a world where it's just we live in the now and that is absolutely it. And, I mean, to a degree, that's kind of what we preached is like you can only base it off of what you've seen. And maybe it's more so like of encompassing a season versus a career. I loved listening, or I shouldn't say loved, but I really enjoyed like Emmanuel Acho usually had good segments. He's becoming one of those people that's just media I cannot stand now.
Yeah, he's Skip Bayless, dude.
Yeah, and it's just you're trying to find these narratives and you just punch them into the ground with like polarizing aspects to it. And he's just like, name me an all-time great quarterback. Name me a Hall of Fame quarterback with a losing record. You can't. They don't exist. So until Justin Herbert's a winning quarterback, I don't want to hear about it. And it's like, you watch the game, right? Like he's got it. He's a guy. And I don't
Matt
understand.
Stafford,
Yeah, like it's just,
Hall of Fame quarterback,
Losing record.
losing record.
and again, it's one of those funny things where I'm like, I get what you're trying to do here and what you're trying to create, but it couldn't have been more ironic because I believe it was pre that game last night. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he was there,
yeah.
and like he got ripped over the coals a little bit.
Yeah, it's like,
as you should.
Shut the fuck up.
That's what happens. I mean, you put
Yeah.
a lot of stock in something because if Tua would have balled out,
Yeah.
I mean, just rooftops. He's
You're-
screaming from it.
Busting a
He's
nut.
gonna be
Yes.
listening.
He's on a new hot take now, and it's Nick Bosa versus Michael Parsons.
Yes.
Is it really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because somebody tweeted out like there were stats that showed that Bosa was actually better in like 5 categories,
Really?
and he was just like, you have to do the math. Like you have to look at the tape. Like he's a game
Yeah.
changer.
So you look at
These-
the tape when it.
These plays aren't all the same. Like
Yeah.
Nick Bosa rushes the passer, he doesn't, so he should have more sacks. And there was just a lot of stuff where, I mean, if you look at both sides of the argument, they kind of made sense. But it's
Yeah.
like,
Either
or you
way,
just argue that Bosa's the man right now.
you're getting a game-changing defensive player, which is rare, if not unheard of.
Yeah.
I'll take either, respectfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was meant. But needless to say, I would still be taking Herbert over Tua.
And I mean, I think
Yeah.
we went back and forth on it. Like, I can't remember really if we even touched on Tua a lot this year at all or not. But I've never been a believer of a left-handed quarterback. And it's just, I don't see this like eliteness that people are talking about. I see elite weapons around you, but I don't see elite quarterback play.
Well, I mean, I
Well,
think
they
it
did
makes,
the thing where like you flip the tape,
Yeah.
and so it looks like he's a righty, and everybody's like, I don't know, his movement now all of a sudden is flawless, and his throwing and his motion, everything
really?
it looks good.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's just because he's left-handed that everything he does, you're
Looks
just like,
goofy.
I don't know, I don't like it.
Little
I don't
southpaw?
like it.
Southpaw action? Yeah. Okay.
I think it just speaks volumes to Tyreek Hill. Like he's
Yeah.
super
Covering
valuable.
up that fucking fumble, picking up a fumble and taking it
Yes.
to the house, dude.
Yeah. What is it? Somebody
That's
was
freaking rugby.
somebody
That's all that was.
No,
Just-
somebody tweeted
insane.
that he like broke all the Dolphins receiving records like the first year he's there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, you have a generational wide receiver on your team.
really fast.
Yeah. Did you hear why one of the main reasons why he chose to go to Miami? He goes, they were asking him a bunch of questions. I guess Tyreek's an undercover nerd too, like Call of Duty, all that shit. He goes, I have to go somewhere else. He goes, that was step one. He goes, they're not going to put 399 ratings on Madden on one team. Mahomes was 99. Kelsey's 99. I had to go get mine. I had to get my 99. I had to go somewhere. I was like, fucking great, dude. So that's why he went to Miami. Well, like another team.
The worst.
He's like, I got to be a 99. He was a 98, I guess, for like ever.
His speed was the speed 100 though.
No.
There's only been like
Devin Hester,
3
and that's
people,
it.
that
Yeah.
have like 100 speed.
Yeah.
Oh, if he does it, I mean, come on.
Right.
I know it's weird, but next.
So mine in the NFC, should you tank for Tampa? Meaning the Dallas Cowboys, the Minnesota Vikings, and the San Francisco 49ers are all arguably fighting for the 2 spot.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are going to chase and hawk down Philadelphia.
Correct.
Should they actually tank and try to be the 5th seed so they could play Tampa in the first round? Because they are really bad at football.
I just think it's
I thought they turned it around there for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they had turned it around. I thought the divorce was final.
Yeah.
That's past Tom Brady. He started doing the clutch thing again. Started winning some games, making drives. The defense stepped up a little bit, and they're like, "We'll
Yes.
do enough if you can go with the last 2 minutes." Tom Brady was like, "I got you," and then it was just like, absolutely fucking not.
Yeah.
No.
And then you ran into the
That
49ers
fucking-
defense.
It's that fucking SpongeBob meme where it's like, how many times we gotta do this, old man?
Yes. But okay, so the thing that I think plays into it is twofold, but it both revolves around like Vegas and just the conspiracies. One, Brady doesn't win that Saints game unless Mark Ingram randomly runs out of bounds without getting a first down. When that's
Yeah.
just situational awareness, I don't care what anybody says. You're staring at a post that's bright orange that you know you need to get to, and if somebody didn't clarify to you prior to this play, this fucking ends it. You should be fired as a coach.
He didn't see
Yeah.
the line on the field.
I don't care. Oh yeah, the yellow one that I just assumed
yellow
was there when I was a kid.
He didn't see the first down line.
But then again, it goes back to when KC lost to Indy and when Philly almost did. Somebody didn't give Tom Brady the script. Somebody didn't let him know the agenda is like, dude, you're done. We're tanking Tampa. Like, get out of here. The universe is trying to gift him home field and just to keep this play going of like Tom Brady's still the GOAT, which he is. But I think his time's passed.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great run. Like, you literally went 1 not one, even one and done, almost 2 back-to-back Super Bowls, winning one. Like, just call it.
Go be with your family. Nah, fuck
Nah.
that.
Fuck that. I open mouth kiss my kids. I don't want to go there. But
I mean, and then the thing of it is, they're already talking about like where he's going to go next year.
oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's weird. And
Miami.
Go home.
I don't hate it.
Can't. You got no home now.
Yeah.
He's got a smoking hot chick now, though.
I see
Another
it.
model, dude.
That's that from the Romanian Instagrammer.
Classic. But no,
Classic
She's
Tom.
shooting her shot.
I do think it
Ain't
will.
mad at her.
It's going to play perfectly again. So even though he didn't get the correct script, there's still one being written, I think, in the background where they make it into the playoffs, and that's all that really matters.
And
Tom-
then you bounce the Vikings. Adios, dude.
Yeah, Brady will put asses in the seats. He will sell the tickets. He'll sell the revenue there is just going to be insane. There's no way they don't want that to happen.
So, hypothetically speaking,
Carolina wins the division.
no. So in this scenario, again, Vikings 10-3, Cowboys 10-3, 49ers 9-4.
Yep.
Probably argue they're playing the best football
Yeah.
of the 3 teams.
Uh,
If you're the 40 or whoever the 2 seed is,
Yeah.
do you want to see the 7 seed Lions, or would you rather have hoped that you finished 5th and got Tampa at 4?
I would want Tampa over Detroit, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard because a lot of factors have to play
I
into
would,
it.
but the thing is,
Hypotheticals.
like, I don't think anybody's going to catch the Vikings. I think they're just going to be the 2 seed. You get bounced by the Lions. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm like, yeah, let me get my revenge game on Tom Brady.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, they played the first season, the first game of the season, past 2 seasons,
It was terrible.
get beat, and I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
let me see you in the playoffs. Michael
think-
Parsons,
Well,
do
here's
that,
the-
do
here's
that
the-
thing.
Do that thing.
But here's the great
Right.
thing with Dallas that we've talked about, where they're the team that somehow makes everybody, they turn them into believers just so they can lose.
But that's the thing. If you play Tom Brady in the first round of the playoffs, and it's like, hey, you want to be the Cowboys, you want to shut everybody up, beat Tom Brady,
Yes.
and then we'll talk about it.
Well, so 100% I agree with that. And that's what I was going to say is like their narrative now isn't just to get bounced in the first round, it's to win one and then lose.
Right.
Like they're never going to do the thing, which is go all the way to the Super Bowl. Like I'm not win or lose, like getting there, it should be kind of half of the achievement in a sense,
Yeah.
or a big portion of it. I think they're finally over that minute hurdle where it's like, now we're just going to go to the second round every time
Yeah.
and lose. Like it cracks me up.
It's crazy that they're talking like, I forget who it was talking about. It might have been Nick Wright, honestly, where he's like, the 49ers and the Cowboys are playing for the NFC Championship. They're not playing to win the Super Bowl. They're just trying to get the NFC Championship.
Yep.
That's their goal this season, or it's a bust.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does
I'm
that.
like,
Yeah.
So I think it's crazy that I think the AFC is a little bit different because, yes, if the Lions make the playoffs, they're going to be the 7th seed, which would be fun because they'd be a scary football team to play. But in the AFC, it's kind of the same thing because you got Buffalo, you got Kansas City that are probably going to fight, and obviously maybe even Cincinnati
Yeah.
could vie for that 1 seed. Gets the bye. The 2 seed might have to play a healthy Chargers team.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound fun.
Sneaky good.
yeah.
That would suck.
It was
I have the second best record in the conference, and what's my consolation prize? A healthy Justin Herbert?
But here's where you got to look at it and really dive into the knit and grit of football and why it's fun. The Chargers are going to have to go to that team,
100%.
and that's going to be a cold weather team. I think that bodes not so well for the Chargers that are just now freshly all back and just live on the West Coast. I just think it's one of those, like, you almost want to call them like the pretty boys, and I just don't think and I just don't think they would handle a Buffalo very well in Buffalo or even a Cincinnati.
No, but I don't think they'd be thrilled if a healthy Chargers 4 weeks from now is coming into town
Sure.
with
yeah.
our playoff lives on the line.
Correct. Yeah.
Especially with healthy weapons.
Healthy
Healthy.
being the key word.
So my last one here,
Yes.
which again, how this podcast started. So right now, if you are a fan of this franchise, who are you more excited for? The Detroit Lions or the Jacksonville Jaguars?
How this pod started? What do you mean?
I'm talking about Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Detroit's having a great year, yes. We still don't have a long-term quarterback. The defense is still shaky.
You want to know the crazy thing?
Jacksonville's got a dude, and he is starting to show it.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing, and that's what I was going to say is like probably my hot take, and maybe it'll be just as bad as the A.J. Brown one looking back on it. you played well back-to-back weeks. Awesome. You've played heavily inconsistently throughout the year. I don't really care. Like, your team's just kind of weird. Like, can you really name anybody on Jacksonville other? I get like it's Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence, but then it's
Marvin
like
Jones,
but it's like
Marvin Jones Jr.,
Evan Ingram.
but again,
It's pretty good.
no. Again, I will agree. There's names on there,
Right.
but they're all low B tier people. Nobody's an A-lister. Nobody's getting into the VIP room. Nobody's getting to the after party.
But I
Evan
think
Ingram was.
Oh, he was for a season in New York, and I get it. But then again, now shift to the defense, like we talked about with Carolina in the beginning of the year. Name me one player on their defense right now.
Thibodeau? No, Trayvon Walker, first pick of the draft.
Trayvon Walker.
Anybody else after the first pick of the draft that's the
no.
most recent person?
Oh no,
Not
I get
Jack.
that.
And that's why I feel like they give me almost Baltimore vibes where it's like, again, but you have Trevor who's ascending where Lamar is, maybe he's done ascending. I don't know, plateaued. That team, when you lose one key ingredient, is kind of fucky.
You mean the quarterback? Yeah, it's a pretty big ingredient, dude. On fucking not one ingredient,
No,
the ingredient.
Well, so I think there's an exception to every rule or an example. The 49ers, have they really had a consistent quarterback this year?
Jimmy Garoppolo?
I mean, they had Garoppolo. He led him to a Super Bowl.
Correct, but does anybody ever go like, this guy, he's the guy? Like, I think they're waiting to get him out, but somehow he keeps coming back and he just keeps winning.
Well, I think that's Shanahan's thing. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to spend money on a quarterback. He's like, I can win my system. I can take anybody.
Anybody. So again, proving my point that maybe that ingredient isn't as important if you build a team.
Well, I think if you took Pat Mahomes off of Kansas City, they're not the 2 seed.
Oh, I agree, but you removed Alex Smith for Patrick Mahomes. You went
And they
from
won a Super Bowl.
well, yeah, but you went from great to greater.
Alex Smith is not great.
They were
Alex
going
Smith was
11-5 or 12-4 for a couple seasons there. He was doing everything they needed him to do.
You mean in San Francisco?
No. Well, that too.
So Andy Dalton,
Hell yeah, red rifle, baby. Comes full circle.
not great.
But that's what I'm saying.
The quarterback's important, man.
Yeah.
It is, but I'm saying Jacksonville, I think, is a smoke and mirror team. I don't think they have
I mean, I'm not
as many
saying like they're going to
ingredients
the Super
as
Bowl
you
right
think.
now. I'm saying
2 years.
I think they have pieces in place
Yeah.
with a quarterback that if
for 2 weeks it's just balled out and now you're ready to just suck his dick.
He was ready to suck his dick at the beginning of the season.
Oh, I know. You've been a dick sucker for a while.
I said next year he's going to win the MVP.
Well, you said it this year too.
No, I
You
said
say it every year. It's
I
going to be
said
true
in
at some
2
point.
years he'll win the MVP.
If he does, it's gonna be
Yeah.
gonna be true.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
2 years he'll win the MVP.
Yeah.
That's not obviously this year.
Got one more. Then next year. 2 years. That's next two.
I'm just saying you could make the argument that there's better pieces in Jacksonville than there are in Detroit.
That's a horrible take.
I don't think so.
No, that's terrible.
I'm a Detroit fan, but I think there's pieces and reasons to be just as excited.
Because you have all this fucking lust for Lawrence. You're in the honeymoon stage and you can't get over it. It's like the
We
guy-
have one more win than they do.
Yeah. Better.
And this
Who's playing better football?
Better. Nailed it.
and again, we just smoked them 2 weeks ago,
Again, literally straight up. Better.
but I'm just saying there's reasons if you're a Jacksonville fan to be like,
Trevor's kind of the guy, and he just looks like the
dude,
guy.
Zay Jones is really good. He's balled out for 3 weeks.
Awesome. Show me 16 or 17. You know what I mean? Like, put something together here, bud. What are we doing?
The Lions haven't done that yet.
Jamal Williams, whole season put together. Amon-Ra St. Brown, all season put together. Like, what are we doing?
What
are we doing?
Yeah, what does he put together?
A
Yeah.
season of football.
Jamal Williams, goal line touchdowns. Amon St. Brown injured.
You're going to make me do it.
I'm gonna make you do it.
Yep. Here. So, for those of you pulling up some player stats here, because there's actually some great like websites out here that just break it all down. So, if you had to guess where Jamal Williams ranks with his goal line rushing yards, where do you want to put his over/under at?
Goal line rushing yards.
No, like because you think he's a goal line guy. Where do you want to say like his rushing yards right now? What's his over/under to you? What's it looking like if you had to guess?
Under 600.
He has 806.
Okay.
So, and then for the receiving aspect of it, for good old Amon-Ra St. Brown, do you want to guess where he ranks in catches right now?
How many receiving yards does he have?
898.
Christian Kirk has 874.
He's beating him.
Okay.
Better. How many touchdowns does Christian Kirk have?
I have no idea.
Perfect. So here's the thing, my man. They have better pieces. It's literally all tying back to what I said previously about Detroit. For whatever reason, they're just a great team. They have all these guys that are bought in, but nobody wants to anoint them. Nobody being like media people, the outlets that praise all these guys. Nobody wants to say this guy.
How many touchdowns does St. Brown have?
St. Brown,
Or Amon-Ra?
he has 6.
Christian Kirk has 7.
So he's winning by a hair.
Better.
In one category. So it's one of those things where
Better.
how many catches does he have?
67.
82.
Oh, so he has less catches and more touchdowns?
He has
Better.
more catches.
How many targets does Amon-Ra have?
targets? He has 109.
106.
So again, better.
That's just it means your quarterback throws to you more.
Jared likes him more chemistry. What I'm saying is they're a great team, and nobody over there is like this star-studded,
Sounds like they're
person.
the same team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're similar. That's my point.
No.
You have guys. There's nobody on the Lions offense as wide receivers that are an A+ or an A.
I don't think you get what I'm saying.
I
I
think
don't think you get what he's saying.
I think you have a team that is starting to gel together and say, hey, we don't have anybody that overshadows anybody. We're just going to be dudes and we're going to ball out.
Right.
But the difference is that the Jaguars have a quarterback, which there's no doubt about it, is the most important position in professional sports that has a chance to be elite. The Lions do not have that right now.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence has more or less passing yards than Jared Goff?
Less.
Better.
I'm so fucking good.
Jared Goff's better, man. They're a better team. Better ingredients, better pizza.
They're having a better season, yes, and I hope the Lions blow them out in this argument 2 or 3 years from now.
It sounds
But I think it's a valid argument to say, as a Jaguars fan, 2 years from now, we may have a better team.
I
Yeah.
just think you're an undercover Jacksonville fan. It's weird. You need to go home and look yourself in the mirror.
You bleed teal, bud.
I'm unbiased, man, for the segments.
Doesn't sound like it. Sounds like you're fucking just bobbing on Trevor
I think he's saying they're similar teams.
Yes, that's my point.
with having a lust factor towards Jacksonville.
In the best position in football,
For the future, that Trevor Lawrence is going to be better than Jared Goff.
Correct.
Your argument is the Lions are
Right
better.
now.
The team as a whole is better.
Yeah.
He's saying Trevor Lawrence is better for the team.
I don't want him.
of course you don't.
Yeah, because you're a team guy. You want the team.
Unity.
I.e. 49ers example. Plug anybody
Cleveland.
in there.
I want a team. I want Jacoby. I don't want Deshaun. Fuck your money. Get out of here. Go
I mean,
massage yourself.
They won 4 games with Jacoby.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They couldn't be more back if they would just go back.
Anyways,
to
dude.
Jacoby. Yeah. Top 3, bottom 3. We'll make it. We'll make it.
Was
quick.
that your last of the rap?
Yeah, that was.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
So my top 3, pretty easy, pretty simple. I feel like it's Philly, KC, Buffalo. Like, I don't know if there's really any. Oh, Cincy and San Francisco are probably fringe for me, but I do have Detroit as a fringe one because of the football they're playing.
Mine is still Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I have them up at 1, finally.
12-1, deserved.
And it's just because, I don't know, KC. You let Denver do that to you. It scared me a little bit.
It was weird, and again the jinx, because I literally texted you and I said they're going to pull their starters by halftime. This is insane because I wanted Travis Kelce anytime touchdown score and 2, and I was like, they're not even going to have good guys on the field for the second half. And then next thing you know, Denver runs off 21 unanswered or whatever they did.
Stupid.
Jerry Jeudy back. I told you. Russell Wilson is going to be better with Jerry Jeudy.
He
Is, right? Correct?
He was just a dog for that game. I mean, 3 tutties. That was nuts. Hat trick.
I saw a stat. It said, highlight, Jerry Judy's first 3 touchdown game. Is he supposed to have a bunch of them?
Right?
Yeah.
Is that a thing that's like,
Yeah.
oh, everybody's just doing it?
Yeah,
Travis Kelce had 4.
He's the 940th wide receiver to do it. Shut up. Yeah.
But yes, no, I have that. I have Philly, Buffalo, KC.
Philly, Buffalo, KC?
Yeah.
I have Philly, KC, Buffalo.
Yeah. For the bottom 3,
The bottom 3, though.
this is where it gets controversial.
I do feel like even this is starting to shake out a little bit. Like this was roller coaster rides for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But I feel like now it's kind of okay. We're starting to get the.
I think the roller coaster might be back because I actually only have 2 teams in it.
Well, that doesn't even make sense, dude.
Yeah.
Quite the ride.
Houston at 32 and Denver at 31. I don't think there's another team that I'm ready to say is just so bad that they're the 30th spot. I know there's 32 teams, but I don't feel a certain way. Like no team when I look at them is like, yeah, you're shit. You're 30th. Yeah.
You're gonna see Denver put up 28 and say they're 31, and then look at everybody else in the league,
Yeah.
and then be like,
Because again,
nah.
Russ is concussed, and it couldn't be more ironic, poetic, sad, funny that he ends the season potentially with 11 touchdowns to 12 toilets. He was right
Oh,
there.
he's coming back, man.
He was
Yeah,
right
he's,
there.
He's playing next week.
I don't know, man. Concussion protocol.
What concussion protocol?
But if you're Denver, do you not take that as a sign to be like, Russ, dude, we're already in the bag for you. Go figure it out.
I mean, you could get healthy. You're coming back. We can't get rid of you. That's too expensive.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
fuck.
I mean,
man.
Houston is
No way.
32 for me.
Yeah.
The Rams are 31, and Denver's 30.
After that Baker drive,
Shut the fuck.
I mean,
up.
I want to root for them. It
Golly.
sucks that they got that win because it just
hurts the Lions.
hurts the
pick.
Ryan's draft pick.
Yeah.
They scored 17 points,
It's insane.
and
Elite.
that last drive was heavily aided by the old officials.
Yeah.
And again, it's a win nonetheless. But that Rams offense is bad.
Yeah, but one more point and they would have beat Denver or tied them. 18 was their average for a while.
But at one point,
17, because if they scored 18, they would win.
no, like 18. Yeah.
and before he got hurt, for
Tied
whatever reason,
Tied it. Nailed it.
Denver was cooking.
Yeah.
The Rams were not. And that Raider defense is not good.
I need you to cook for longer than half a game. You know what I mean? 3/4 of a game. Like
Well, I need Baker
Oh.
to cook longer than a drive.
Oh, but I'm
Yeah.
not saying like
you haven't been in the kitchen the entire year, and
the
then all of a sudden
margin
you fire up
between
the
the
grill.
games. It's not like we're saying you're the 10th best team in the league.
Yeah.
You're fighting for the second worst spot.
And you earned it. You've earned it all year.
The Rams did. Yes, they are bad.
Yes.
So is Denver.
But they at
So
least
put the Rams at 30th.
the Denver
Yeah.
at some point though did have an elite side of the football. The Rams do not.
And yet still they were in the bottom 3 for the majority of the year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hate to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, Siri always
For
pops up.
this-
That's weird.
I have completely different a little bit. What are you doing over there?
I don't. It literally just keeps happening every 5 seconds. It's so weird. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
No, it's Siri.
Texans,
Yep.
obviously.
Uh-huh.
Rams, Falcons.
I know. The Falcons got sneaky bad.
They fell off, man. And then now it's Desmond Ritter time. So
They're gonna make.
if you're bad enough that you're just like, all right, man,
Give 'em-
Mariota,
give 'em all
we
you
tried
got.
it.
Yeah.
Now we're already playing for next year. We're
Yeah.
putting Ritter in. We're giving him the experience. We're gonna see what happens
Here's
next
the
year.
thing. Any quarterback that comes out of the state of Ohio, goated. I mean, Cincinnati Bearcat. What do you want? I mean, the guy.
What more you want from him?
He's all time. He's he's every bit of like 6'6" or something. Like the dude's gonna be a unit. I'm excited. It's just good to be back.
It's good to be back. Ohio.
Ohio football. Back.
Ohio's for lovers.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah. Ohio's for Desmond. Ohio's for lovers. It's for it's great. I love it.
There it is.
There it is.
No, then we got to pick.
I'm saying there it is. Top 3 bottom
Yeah.
3.
Top
Oh, it's top three,
T3,
bottom
T3,
three.
B3.
Let's make some money.
Yes.
Now let's make some money.
so
We
to-
took a bye week off, which was a good fucking week.
because we
A
all
lot
went
of
0
trap
3.
out there.
We all went 0-3 on our hypothetical picks.
A lot of traps out there.
We had hypothetical picks.
We made them at Bruner's Pub. I took Seattle. He took Tampa. What'd you take?
Detroit.
Nice. You won.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
1 and 2, baby. But no, first the betting breakdown I wanted to describe again. So I think this might be the best like catchphrase. I don't know if I want to make it a t-shirt or something. Discuss betting publicly and bet it privately. Like I can't speak that enough. I will sit, like Dutt and I will text each other all day. There are times where if we put in the same bet or we're thinking the same thing, we usually kind of agree like that's what we're going to do. But for the most part, it's
Who
like,
do you love?
what?
Who do you love?
Yeah, but it's like you never want to go all the way where you give away the farm of like, this is what I'm taking today.
Yeah.
So
Do you do it selfishly because you want to win, you don't want anybody else to win, or because you don't want to jinx it? And you can be
It's-
honest.
I don't want nobody mushing my bets.
no, I'm 100%.
I'm very select on like who like I tell like these are my bets,
yeah.
and I'm just like if it's like public bets like oh I'm taking Derrick Henry, Zeke, and Tony Pollard.
Right.
You're like yeah. So is
Shocker.
everybody in fucking
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. The
But if I'm
no-brainer
like
bets.
I'm taking Kevin Harris and AJ Green,
yeah,
I'm not telling anybody.
that's a crazy sneaky one that almost hit. And
Yeah.
so to like play off of that,
Didn't.
it's one of those where when you get in these text threads of people and they're like, who do you like? What are you doing? And then they start telling you every time a leg hits in a parlay. I'm like, I am a firm believer. I am 99%. I don't tell people what I actually did for the jinx. 1% of it is so I can send said screenshot afterwards and say, my 6-leg parlay hit. I just won $1,000.
Yeah.
It's the greatest feeling ever when you can screenshot that and be like, the green dots are all lit and everything's fire.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I just back when I wagered a little bit here and there,
A few shekels.
a few shekels.
Mhm.
I just told people when I lost. Like I had no problem telling people the bad beats and the awful ones I took or
Oh,
how
yeah.
much I lost here, but I never wanted to tell people what I won
Yeah.
ever.
It's just,
Like if I send the screenshot,
Because it
it's
never
always
happened.
crossing out what I bet, what I won.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like just know I did that.
Yeah. And it's,
Whether I bet $1 or $1,000 on it, you don't need to know that. Just know I won.
and it's just weird to me that betting has evolved for me personally, at least. And I feel like the world is on the same trajectory or path where straight up betting it's almost like lost its taste to me. Like I have to do a parlay or I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice. When before I was like, it was hundreds of dollars on a game, multiple games sometimes at that on a weekend. Now it's taking that same hundreds of dollars and putting it on parlays that are just umpteen amount of ways far less likely to happen.
You're going the reverse gambling way to go, bud.
Yeah, it's insane.
You're going down a loser's road and there ain't coming back.
But when I hit
You're
that
supposed
one,
to come from parlays, smarten up, and now you're betting hundreds of dollars on one game.
everybody knows the smart play is to always double down and try and win your losses back on the very next bet. And it's usually in the
As
moment,
long as it's not a parlay.
impulsive.
As long as it's not a parlay.
Yeah, like if you, and again, everybody should gamble responsibly because you can go
Yes,
down a hole that you don't want to
100%.
do it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like if you have disposable income that you just kind of want to piss away, then yes, do some parlays.
Yeah.
Stuff you know never going to happen. If
Yeah.
it does, lightning in a bottle, great for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're trying to make money,
Yeah.
not a winning strategy usually.
Yes.
Because everybody always posts, like you said, that 6-banger for $1,800. But it's like,
took $5K to get there.
yeah, you didn't
100%.
you didn't screenshot the 450 that consecutively that you lost.
Went on a little bit of a cold streak there, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough in these streets.
Well, that being said, let's give people the 3 games that they should pick.
So here's for me, and it couldn't be more on par with who I am and how I talk about stuff on these shows and these pods. It's Cleveland at home -3.
I love
Let's go ahead and put my money
Book them, Dano.
where my mouth is. Let's say Deshaun.
Oh, my God.
He shook the rust off. He got massaged out. He's no longer tight. He's back. We're assuming Lamar's still out. The fact that line is at 3 makes me believe it's a pick'em. But because it's at home with Cleveland, they get -3. Wasn't that the
Yeah.
whole rule? Like if it's at home,
basically home field advantage.
The home
3
the home
points.
team was supposed to be getting 3 points. I don't think it's quite that way anymore,
yeah.
but that was always the understanding.
And I think it is a fringe. Like if that line was 4 or 5, that's where I think as a DGen it becomes trap game talk.
Yep.
But I think 3 is a perfect number. It probably will be 27-24 or maybe 21-17. But either way, it's like it's a push or it's going to be a nail bite cover, and I love it.
I think they blow them out.
Oh shit!
All right.
Baltimore
But-
does
Yeah.
Is that dirty talk?
what? Blow?
I think they're gonna blow them out.
Did I sent you that right? CBS Sports.
Oh yeah,
Uh-uh.
They put that comment on the fucking one of the games.
they're gonna blow their back out.
Yeah, literally just goes. I mean, the last time the Browns and Bengals faced off, Cleveland blew their back out, and I was like, "What?"
Yeesh.
I'm like,
Yep.
"Can you write that?" Like,
You don't say that? That's ad lib, baby.
but I was like, "That's
Off the cuff.
sexual in reference." Like,
Yeah.
yay. Cleveland -3, book it.
Cleveland -3, book it.
Yeah,
I'm 1 game below 500 for the year.
you are.
I got to 500. My hypothetical game doesn't count.
Hypothetically, you're there though.
Hypothetically.
Correct, because I lost it the following week.
Yeah.
Should have won. I've got 2 slots that I'm thinking about. They were talked heavily on this podcast.
Yes.
One's a favorite, one's a dog. One's a home dog.
Ooh, so that's Jacksonville.
That is Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take them.
Who are they playing?
Dallas. Jacksonville +5. Give me those points. They went to Kansas City when I told you that 13 was too many. And
It's-
damn it if they didn't blow that in the 4th quarter.
I mean, it's it's a great spot to be in. Home with that many points is nice. However, you beat a Tennessee team that I think people, like, the season's winding down and you're starting to realize you're in the AFC South. This thing's all but wrapped up for you.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck. Like, were you a good team? Were you a bad team? Were you just kind of an even keel, like, hey, guys, we're going to win a division this year and we'll throw a party?
I mean, I'm sure Tennessee wanted to win that game to win the division.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Dallas 48-17.
They're 2 down in the division with 4 games to go, and their last game of the year is Tennessee.
I love when it just writes itself like that. That's good stuff.
You can't make this up.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. And now here's the guy.
Here's the guy. Here's the thing. Here's what we're doing.
In 25 seconds.
Yep. I've been looking at it. I've been thinking about it, dude.
No
And
shit, dude. We know. This is the
Well, you said
process.
Cleveland was going to blow them out, so that had to have been top of the list.
Who else is getting their back blown
What's
out?
up there? I'm going to go with the old strategy I've been talking about this whole fucking season, and it's rookie quarterbacks stepping in and defenses
No
not
game
know how
plan.
to play them.
San
And
Francisco,
it is the
Atlanta Falcons.
Ohio Cincinnati Bearcat Desmond Ritter +4 going into Nolans, and they're coming out.
Oh, yeah.
I think they went out right, baby.
I think it's just going to be a shit game regardless.
Yeah.
So hats off.
I don't think fucking
No.
New Orleans scores any points, and I think Desmond Ritter does just enough
yeah.
to get Drake London 2 touchdowns. Bucket, baby.
17-9. What a game. Barn burn. No, 13-9. Oh, just a field goal fest.
Doesn't matter. We're getting +4, so that's a +8 win, baby.
Hello.
I'll take it.
Girthy football.
Girthy football,
Episode
84.
4. Detroit Rock City.
No mo.
Bye.